the realization that we are not these bodies. We are consciousness, we are souls. The suffering, it sheds light on it. When we are ignorant of that truth, we go through suffering. When we know the truth, when there is light, information, then there is no more suffering. There is only lessons that to be learned. There is no good or bad experience. There are only lessons. If your pineal gland is not activated, you are going to get confused and distracted because the matrix is designed to distract you from the truth. So you can see the truth if you are not connected to your inner self. You are so focused on your own problems. Where is the time to seek the truth? There is no time for us to seek the truth. We are corporate slaves right now. That's why all we need is alcohol, sex, and that's it. For a Hindu, there is a temple. For a Muslim, there is a mosque. For a Christian, there is a church. Pyramid is for oneness. Anybody can walk in, nevertheless, who you are, what religion, what caste, what race you are. So that's why there are 35,000 pyramids. So I have one in my backyard where we go and sit. I have one on my bed. I sleep under a pyramid. You don't need medicine. My children, whenever they have sore throat, flu, I don't give them medicine. So I put the water, clean, filter, alkaline water under a pyramid and then I make them drink it. The whole paradigm shifts when we understand this truth. I mean, to talk about it, I have to tell you my story.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Voices of New Earth podcast. I am your host, Justice Calabro, and our co-host, Nihal, is right here. And we've got Pari Patri, a leader in the PSSM global movement, and we will be diving into her life today and her experiences. But this podcast is truthfully an opportunity for the Voices of New Earth to share their story. This is where those supposedly ordinary voices share their stories of extraordinary awakenings, from students to sages. These are the stories of creators who have found the courage to speak their authentic truth, and in doing so, help awaken and empower the rise of a sovereign new earth. Here, we dissolve the dogma of social media and seed a new era of social service where every post, every story, and every voice becomes a tool for liberation, inspiration, and transformation. These are not just interviews. They are indeed living testimonies, reminders that each of us hold the power to shift culture and reclaim our place in the Great Awakening. So here we are. Welcome to the Voices of New Earth. I'll pass it to my brother Nihal.
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful intro, Justice. That was absolutely amazing. I think it really, captures what we're trying to create here today. And it's a very special day. I know for you and me, Justice is a very special day. And I'm very excited to be connecting with our guest today, Pari, who's tuning in from California. So welcome to the show, Pari. This is a special day for us because this is actually our first podcast episode on the Voices of New Earth. So you are by all means a pioneer on the show today. And from what I know of you, you're a pioneer in life. You are a visionary voice in new conscious leadership, which is what we want to kind of break in and dive into today. From what I know about you, you are the visionary force behind PSSM Global, and you and your team has built over 35,000 pyramids across the world, bringing meditation to the front lines, helping, the masses learn more about meditation. And I myself I've been to one of your pyramids in Bangalore, so I know just how beautiful and massive and the scale and what it's, reaching people and the impact that it's creating. And you also run a company, Soham Shift, helping leaders build their movements, tap into their true power and potential, and helping them turn into the leaders that they desire to be to make, build the revolution that they're here to create. So thank you for being the first revolutionary on the show today, Pari. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling awesome. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to chat with you guys and have fun.
Where are you tuning in today from?
I am tuning in from Orange County, California. We had the Mega Meditation Summit happening in Los Angeles. The theme was Healing LA, a Global Consciousness Revolution. So it was great. We had 1,500 people walk in and great speakers, meditation. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Amazing. What is the highlight of the event for you?
I mean, everything. I think the highlight is definitely the meditation because we have live musicians come from India, play, and people who cannot even sit for 10 minutes sitting in for 2 hours of meditation at a stretch. So that was definitely a highlight.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. So as we dive in, I want to, I know we have a lot of new guests who's going to be tuning in. So for all of those who's listening today, if you want to maybe share a little bit about yourself and the work that you do, I think that would give a lot of context to all the new listeners who are tuning in today.
I call myself leadership coach or a meditation teacher. I have like so many things that I do, but I'm a retreat leader, a leadership coach. I teach meditation. The main mission that I am here to do is to create, it is to help people who want to create movements, who want to build movements, who want to get out of fear and start living their life in a very authentic. And that's why I love you guys, because this is all about the authenticity, collaboration, and that's where I help people be their authentic selves. And work from a space of abundance, not from a space of fear, and create movements, create unstoppable empires based on conscious leadership.
Absolutely. That's powerful. Building movements is, kind of what we're doing here at the New Earth as well, New Earth University. You being at the front lines of leading PSSM Global today. I know that it's a huge network that you guys have created, started by your father, Tucci, to bring meditation to the world on the scale that you guys have, to bring it, like I know when I spoke to you, you mentioned that you have brought these pyramids to like the tiniest villages in India to really teach and give an opportunity to, on the grassroots levels in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities to help bring them to meditation, to help them tap into that energy and that frequency. Over time, you guys have built over 35,000 pyramids. I mean, it is a global movement. And you being on the show today as somebody who empowers people to step and build their movements, I'd love to know a little bit about PSSM Global. Could you give us a little bit about the background, how it began? What is PSSM Global? What does it stand for? And what's the mission and the movement that you guys are building here?
Absolutely. I mean, PSSM Global, if I have to talk about it, I have to first start talking about PSSM itself, which was founded by Patriji, my father, 30 years back. Yeah, 30 years back in 1990. And the mission is simple. The meditation has to reach the masses. It is not just for the rich or the luxurious or who can access it. It is for everyone. That was his calling. And also he was a rebel in a way to bring spiritual science, the scientific temperament, spiritual scientific temperament. Like, ask questions. Why do you just follow blindly? And he would go into temples and say, don't worship God, because you are a god. Everybody is a god. And that's how he started in 1990s. Nobody would understand. And bringing pyramids as a symbol as a gateway into spiritual science, into quantum physics, into understanding the concept of energy. So those are the three missions of how he started this movement. And PSSM Global is an expansion of what this movement is, to bring the same message globally, to connect with organizations who are heart-centric, who are doing the same work. Because I don't believe this is just us. There are so many other organizations, so many other movements that are doing great work. So we want to connect with them, and because this is not something that we can do alone. This is something that we have to come collaboratively and connect each other and do it. Because most of us, whether we call it PSSM or not, the work is simple, is to empower the humanity, the consciousness, and send the message that we are sovereign beings. We are our own creators. And that is what PSSM Global is about, is spreading that message across the world.
Beautiful. Well, if you are a leader in the meditation space, or you're working to facilitate any sort of growth and community in this world, reach out to Pari. Like she said, we do this together. We might indeed be sovereign human beings and be leading our own lives. But the truth is, the rise of this new earth is a collective awakening that starts within the individual, and it can be facilitated in the individual within community, right? When you're surrounded in this big energy, and I've been in big energy spaces like this before, and we're going to be coming to visit you, Pari, in India for one of these events. It's literally like, this is at the pinnacle of all of our minds. We're going to get the details sorted here very soon. When you're in these spaces around such big energy, the catalyst for awakening in the individual is so powerful. So truthfully, you could not, the work that we're doing here and the work that you're doing and facilitating could not be more important. And truthfully, to me, it's the most important thing humanity could possibly be given at this point in time. And I'd really love to hear from you at some point as we move through today, how meditation has impacted your life and how your relationship with PSSM has impacted your life as well. why you feel it's so important to bring this to the world at this time.
I mean, meditation is something that I was doing since as a child, but truly the importance of it, I found it when I was in my own dark hole, when I got into my own rock bottom. That's when I mean, to talk about it, I have to tell you my story. If we have time, do we have time?
Oh,
Yes,
we've got
absolutely.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I grew up in a world where meditation is my normal, where we talk about energy, we talk about creation, we talk about past lives, we talk about astral traveling, dimensions. This is my everyday world. That's how I grew up. Although when I used to go to school, nobody understood me, or nobody, and even college was the worst, like, because everybody would see me as a crazy person. So I used to shut myself off. And especially when I came to US in 2004, I was surrounded by my family, my extended family, who didn't believe in my father. They thought my father was a loser, a failure, because he was not the regular, because I come from a very typical Hindu family where you need to study, either you are a doctor or an engineer, things like that. And my father he quit his job and he's like, I'm going to do this for free for the entire world. And so they definitely saw him as a failure, as somebody who could not take his responsibility. So I was surrounded by those people. I was surrounded by my friends who didn't understand what I was saying. So I was in a place where I was looking for a belonging, like community, love, to be accepted. So I said, you know what, if what I'm talking is not giving me that community, is not giving me that belonging, then maybe all my life, whatever I believed was not the right thing. Maybe there's something more. So I started accepting their beliefs as mine, to be accepted. And slowly, I got into fear. I got into people pleasing, just saying the words what others want to listen. I was just in this space of, yeah, you know what? Yes, you're right. You know what? And then I got into the concepts of struggle, fear, like, okay, I need to struggle because I'm here in US. I need visa, I need job or whatever, all of those stuff. So I got into that people pleasing, the fear, and slowly, I didn't even realize how my life shifted. I started getting into a deep hole, into a deep dark hole, into my rock bottom of having migraines, shoulder pains, physical problems, not happy at work, not being appreciated. Even in social work circles, I was not happy with the conversations. I was just in a very bad space. That is when things changed. That is when I remembered, okay, I sat back and thought through, what is happening? Why am I here? I know I could create my life. I know I could change, because that's what I've been taught all my life. And I did all my life. Manifested whatever I wanted as a child. But somehow it wasn't working anymore. That's when I decided that, okay, you know what? I'm going to change my life. I'm going to take my power back and start creating my life. But I didn't know how. I didn't know what I have to do. So started learning about what meditation truly is, what pyramid power is, what is quantum energy, attending workshops. Because all my life I learned a lot from the Eastern gurus, a lot of yogis, rishis that come to meet my father. So I met them, I learned from them. And now I learned the scientific, because now my left brain is active, because being an engineer, I wanted the science behind it. So learning from different teachers like David Wilcock, Nassim Haramein, Brian Weiss, many teachers from the West, or Joe Dispenza also, at understanding at a core level what is, reading his book helped me understand. Although I don't say all of them are meditation teachers, they have the concept, they have the theory part pretty good. So learning that truly connected a lot of dots for me in my head. I suddenly realized everything what I went through in my childhood just came in as a flash, connecting everything. Things like what is time travel, what is teleportation, I know I may sound crazy right now, but all of this made sense in my head. What are past lives? What are portals? How do we activate them? How do we travel? everything was kind of like flashing lights. And that's when I realized, okay, this is what it is. Now, to get to that level, meditation is the key to understand, to activate your pineal gland, activate your third eye, and see the truth, because the matrix is filled with lies. There is truth, yes, in the matrix, but also lies. And if your pineal gland is not activated, you are going to get confused and distracted, because the matrix is designed to distract you from the truth. So you can see the truth if you are not connected to your inner self. And that's where I see meditation playing the role of going internal. Because even if I open up Instagram right now, the most views I see is doing a makeup or maybe doing dancing. It's more external oriented right now. And the concept of connecting inside and seeing, going inside is probably you won't get any views. Probably you have to struggle hard, and all spiritual leaders are struggling with that. How do we get creative to get some views? Because maybe if I just do a makeup reel, I'll get more. Or maybe if I just dance naked, I will get more. Things like that. So this is where I see meditation playing a role in activating your pineal gland, seeing like this is truth, this is lies. It's like this in Matrix. Once you meditate, you know exactly what is truth, exactly what is lie, and you can pick the truth from everything. And that is why meditation is so important in today's world.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I really resonate with so much of what you shared here, and I think I'm kind of curious. You mentioned that you went on a journey throughout your childhood where you, like in so many ways, your father was a pioneer at a time where it was not really understood. He by all means was doing work that like the rest of the extended family, friends, peers and social circles didn't really understand, and it made you go on a journey where you questioned yourself and your truth. So as you kind of, went through that journey, kind of hit like this phase in your life where you were feeling kind of at a rock bottom, and you started exploring meditation, help connect and open up your pineal gland to connect deeper with yourself and who really you are. Those questions started coming about. When you're talking about this lies and the truth that is there, and you activating your pineal gland to help you see the truth, what do you think were some of the illusions that you were able to let go of, and the truth that you were able to embrace during this journey of your life?
So much of it. Everything, frequencies that are designed to mind control, put thoughts in your head, the fluoride that gets mixed in the water to calcify your pineal gland, the songs that have words, the subliminals around you that program your mind to believe, the media programming you to make you believe what they want you to believe and not see the truth. The industry itself, the pornography, showing pornography at one end and showing family values at the other end, confusing the society to go where they and creating problems in the families itself. So that when you are so focused on your own problems, where is the time to seek the truth? There is no time for us to seek the truth. We are corporate slaves right now. I know I probably sound all this may bold, but it is true that we are corporate slaves, and we are so stuck in our mortgages, in our problems, that where is the even time to seek any truth? That's why all we need is alcohol, sex, and that's it. And go back to your own lives. So people are so stuck in their own loop, in that matrix illusion, that they can't see the other world. They can't see like what collaboration is, what friendship is, what trust is. We can't even trust anyone anymore because that whole concept of trust is gone. So yeah, these are all some of the illusions I started, finding out.
And how did it shift your dynamic with embracing meditation back home? With what your father was doing, and when you had you're facing the kind of the illusions of kind of like the judgments that were placed upon you and your family basis, the work that you guys are doing. And as you kind of walk this journey, how did that shift your relationship with your father, and you embracing more role in PSSM group, and kind of like how you were getting involved in that space? How did that change for you?
Oh, that's a great question. It's so, he came to US in 2012, where, when he came here, I was still not a believer, in the sense like I was still not awakened. I remember an incident where we were sitting on a beach, and he was sitting with me, and he was like, with our mind, I can move the clouds. He was saying that. And I'm like, are you crazy? No, we can't. Because I was still not open. I was still not awakened. And that was 2012. And that's it. Something happened. The shift started happening in 2015 and 16 is when I started getting more awakened. I started taking not really more role, but I was kind of exploring all of this part and reading more books. Books like Bringers of the Dawn, Ramta, Immortal Talks, Many Masters, so many books. Untold Story of Sita by Dina Mariam. There's so many books that kind of help me understand the truth in different perspectives. In 2017 is when I started getting a bit into PSSM, doing some work, like, when he comes to US, kind of arranging his classes, maybe. So the classes are like, it can be at a home, at a center, anywhere, because they're all, we just call the community gather and meditate. It's like small groups. So I
Okay.
started more working on arranging, organizing, leading kind of sessions slowly. 2018, I was like, now I am like completely like the girl who couldn't even talk about meditation before anyone because of the fear of judgment. Now I am like, I'm ready to quit my job and do this. This is the truth. I was like standing in my power and truth. So when it happened, it just went up. There was no gradual changes. It was just like, I'm here, I'm doing this. So my whole family was seeing that, like, okay, what's happening? Like, there's some friends and family were seeing that there was changes. But I feel even with my husband, I didn't think I gave them time to adjust to my gradual awakening. It was like boom in their face. Like, one day I was this person, and the other day I am like completely transformed, wearing
Wow.
crystals and talking about it. Like, I just saw Justice doing saging, and I'm like saging the whole house. All the time, and
Yeah.
that was pretty drastic. So yeah, once in 2019 I came back to India. So we have this in India, and from December 21st to 31st in Hyderabad, we have a mass event, 11-day event that happens at the pyramid in Hyderabad, where 50,000, 60,000 people sit and meditate together. And I was there with him. That was it. That gave the birth of PSSM Global, that now I was ready to take the mission to the entire world. And
Okay.
and I remember, and sometimes I think back and see he left his body in 2022. So in a way, I was kind of getting ready, because once he leaves, uh, I need to continue the work. So there was no time for me to be prepared. It was so fast. 2019, I started the movement. 22, he left. So how many years? 3 years.
Yeah.
Just 3 years I had with him to run the movement alongside with him. And I sometimes feel, oh, why is it like, I was just getting ready. Wish I had more time to work with him. But that's the crazy graph on how it all started.
It reminds me of something really beautiful Justice shared with me when I first met him. I was also on the cliff, you could say, of like really diving into my purpose, but I really felt scared of like taking that action, taking that leap and stepping into that power and I was talking to Justice about this. I don't know, Justice, remember this, but like I was literally like, I was crying because I felt really scared of taking action. And he sent me a voice note and he said, no great leader is ever born ready, but they arrive to
Mhm.
the occasion. They step into that role when it is demanded of them. And I feel like in
Yeah.
so many ways, with you transitioning and then taking on some responsibility and spending those years with your father all the way from your childhood, but like more deeply involved in terms of the movement. Yeah, with his passing, I mean, I can see in so many ways that the universe knew that you were ready. And it was just you answering that call and stepping in. And where we are today with how you guys are leading the movement. Justice, would you like to add anything in there?
Hey, I'm very honored that you remembered that comment. And B Pari, the journey that you've gone on is absolutely remarkable. I want to explore some of the depth to it. It's something that you said when you were talking about your transformation with your father and the relationship as it changed. When you were in this very left brain mindset, you weren't a believer. Now, to the vast majority of the population that doesn't understand and doesn't believe, what was it that you didn't believe?
Well, I didn't believe that we were more than that we could create our realities. I didn't believe that that there miracles happen all around us, that we are a miracle itself. I didn't believe that. So there was so many questions of the unseen or life after death or whatever, all these phenomenon of what happens beyond the scenes. Probably it's not just not believing in it, it's probably not kind of thinking about it, not kind of like focusing on it, like it doesn't really matter. And even if someone talks about it, like, yeah, okay, whatever, but how does that matter? How does that apply to me? Let me enjoy my life and live my life. That's the conversation is. If I meet someone, it would be like more about, oh, the politics, oh, things like that, but not really talking about the core subject. And I think that's the space that I was in, is not really focusing on what matters rather than getting distracted and talking about just enjoying life and food. And that's it. Food is the main conversation of any social gathering.
Yeah.
That's it. The whole life revolves around food.
So I'm curious, Pari, when
Yeah,
we're speaking about not focusing on what really matters, the truth.
yeah.
We speak a lot about truth. What is it that really matters? What is that ultimate truth to you that we should be bringing our attention to in every moment in these conversations to seek greater depth?
I mean, for me, the ultimate truth, what I always say is that the realization that we are not these bodies, we are consciousness, we are souls. When we understand that truth, the attachment, the suffering, it sheds light on it. When we are ignorant of that truth, we go through suffering. When we know the truth, when there is light, information, then there is no more suffering. There is only lessons that to be learned. There is no good or bad experience. There are only lessons. What am I here to learn? What am I here to share? What am I here to create? So we are creators. So if we are not creating, if you are not sharing, that's when we feel the exhaustion, fatigue, and bored in life. But the moment you realize you're the creator, you're not this body, you're not this how I look like, the friendship happens. Like it doesn't matter whether you are from China, Norway, or America, or India, or Mexico. We are friends because it's not about what you follow, what religion you follow, what you do. But at the soul level, we are the same. We come from the same source. We go back to the same source. So that friendship comes at a deeper level. This can take away the wars, the crime, because the wars are the same because of the same reason, that you don't believe in my God, I don't believe in your God, let me kill you. So the whole concept is, the whole paradigm shifts when we understand this truth. So that is the truth for me, is that we are not these bodies.
There's something
We're
so
not,
powerful that you said that just really stuck with me, that when you remember your truth, when you remember that you are a sacred being, when you remember that you are a creator of your
Mm-hmm.
reality, and when you remember that power that you have as the soul, as this pure consciousness, that there is no suffering.
Mm-hmm.
That I just love that. I think that's so powerful because a lot of the pain and
mm-hmm,
suffering in this world comes from us focusing on this illusion that I'm not good enough, that I don't have what it takes, that I'm this, I'm that. But within
Mm-hmm.
all of us
yeah.
is just pure love, pure truth, pure sacredness. And remembering that is what
Yeah.
shifts you into your power. I think that's like so beautiful. I think that like that message right there is what the world needs to
hmm
hear.
I'd love to speak into that for a second, Nihal. Pari, you started as an engineer in this, and it was the understanding of the spiritual sciences that appealed to the left brain and allowed the left brain to like, okay, surrender. Like I can see the practical experience of this unfolding in the reality around me. Something that helped me wake up to this, and I want to ask you this same question was, um, what was the experience for you that actually turned on the light? For me, it was understanding that there's only two forces in this universe: contraction and expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And when we remember the act of creation, we're in expansion, we're in love, we're in compassion, we're in hope. We're on the upside of the Hawking spectrum of vibration, right? We're moving in that compassion. Anytime we fall below the spectrum of expansion, we move into contraction, we're unconscious. And there's a man called Phil Stutz. He's a very, very famous psychologist. He works with they call him the shrink for the stars.
Mhm.
He has a tool called turnarounds and reverse indicators where it's the moment you experience this contraction, right? Instead of, oh God, there's the problem, there's the suffering and getting identified with the suffering, we go, thank you, God, for this beautiful challenge. This is when I grow, right?
Yeah.
And the moment you say yes, you say bring it on and you bring the energy into the system and you take full ownership of your ability to create whatever you want from this energy coming through you. And you can
Mhm.
get excited about the challenge that's moving through you. That ownership alone is the act of being a creator. And because it's from that ownership that we're able to move and create whatever we'd like from that experience. So when in your life do you feel like you went from being a victim to being a conscious creator?
The moment I realized that, okay, I mean, the whole story that I talked about, every time when I hit my rock bottom, that is when I decide, like, okay, what am I talking about? That I don't have this, or I didn't have opportunity, or I don't have money. Money is another great way of victimizing ourselves. And that is when I decided, like, the expansion came in, like, no, I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to create my own life. I'm going to be doing what I love and creating financial freedom. That was my expansion of saying that out loud. Because for me, coming from a family where meditation is taught for free, and me being a daughter of a guru who is the face of that, now saying, okay, I am going to charge to do a retreat or to do a course, was a big rebel step. It was not easy. There was so much resistance to come out of that image and create my own image, to come out of an image of the daughter of a guru or a leader, and to create my own image of saying, okay, this is my life, that I'm going to do what I want, what I believe in, and what my truth is. So that took a lot of getting out of, like, I could have said, oh, my life, my father wasn't there, or I could have done this, I could have done that. But getting out of that and say, I'm going to create my own life. I'm going to do, it doesn't matter what the world says, I'm going to follow my intuition, was a step for me in expansion. And as you said, contraction and expansion, that is so amazing that you brought up that. That is what creation is all about. Wilhelm Reich, another great scientist who talked about orgone energy. Orgone energy is actually, comes from the word orgasm. It is the energy of the creation. Yes, it is the energy, and it is built from contraction and expansion. That's how organic, inorganic materials pack together, creating contraction and expansion, creating the creative energy, which is the orgasmic energy. And that is where creation happens. So absolutely, I love what you said. And absolutely, that's what it is. Suffering happens, or tragedy happens, or loss happens, because we need to learn from it. And our timeline has to shift. Our trajectory has to shift. Yeah, it's beautiful what you just said there.
Thank you. And it's beautiful. You're a living embodiment of that awakening as well. I remember one of my teachers told me, and I've tattooed this on my brain since then. It's like, this is my mantra all day.
Yeah.
Suffering is resistance to what is.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
Yep.
That's all it is. And
Absolutely.
that in meditation has been my ultimate awakening. Is when I realize that I'm resisting the present moment. I'm resistant to wanting anything to be different, right? That clinging to an ideal or a way of being that's other than the current state that I'm in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not from holding on to that thing that you get there. It's from surrendering into the force of expansion, right? We don't force ourselves outward. We actually expand when we release our grip, right? When we release the clinging.
Yes,
And that's what
absolutely.
meditation's done for me.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, there's no other truth than to it. It's just accept, is surrender, let go, and flow. And the flow comes in as you surrender. So, I mean, that's beautiful. I love what you just said. You beautifully articulated that.
Thank you. So I want to ask you about a PSSM and the pyramid technology as well. This is a very fascinating thing. We're working with the quantum sciences here. Not everybody's really aware of the potency of the pyramid energy. Why has it been such a primary mission of PSSM to build pyramids all around the world? You've built 35,000 pyramids. Why? Seriously, why?
Well, I mean, these pyramids, I mean, we know that pyramid has power. The shape itself, the shape of the pyramid, the angle itself, which is the angle of Giza pyramid, has the power to amplify anything that is in there. The cosmic energies that flows in through gets amplified. So the pyramid has a power and the meditation has a power. So the thought that came in to my father was, why not we combine both and create this mass movement? That was a thought to amplify the meditational experience with pyramids. So the pyramids all around the world are built only for meditation. That's it, solely for meditation. And the other concept is pyramids are gateways, like they're airports to different realms, different dimensions as you enter. They are not some tombs. No tomb was found inside a pyramid. That's a total myth. So pyramids are these airports. Pyramids are these realms that travel beyond. And also the reason why pyramids are built for meditation is because they see, for a Hindu, there is a temple. For a Muslim, there is a mosque. For a Christian, there is a church. Pyramid is for oneness. Anybody can walk in, nevertheless, who you are, what religion, what caste, what race you are. It is a symbol of oneness. It is anybody can walk in, anybody can meditate, and there is no reservation system in any of these pyramids. You can reserve and sit. So the idea was to create oneness, to go beyond the status, to beyond the money, to beyond all of that limitations that we have put in, and come together collectively. So it is a symbol of friendship. It is a symbol of oneness. So everywhere you see a pyramid center, there is food, because any pyramid center, all of these places, there is free food. Probably Nihal, when he went to Pyramid Valley, he must have experienced. So his idea was everybody should eat first and then meditate. So anywhere in the world, if you go to a pyramid center, there is food. You don't have to worry about it. And then you can go, it's open, you can go sit and meditate. You don't have to reserve it, take an appointment or anything like that. So that was his idea, that we create centers of oneness, of friendship and collaboration, and not of any limitations that we create. So that's why there are 35,000 pyramids around. And we are actually now building one mega pyramid in Dallas, Texas. We just acquired 40 acres of land. So it's coming up in Atlanta. Globally, we have in Indonesia, in Bali, there is a pyramid in a resort. Yes, in India, mostly in India, we have in Ladakh, in Himalayas, in Leh, Dehradun, Mumbai, Delhi, all of those, in prisons in Bihar, in Bhopal, in prisons, we have built pyramids where the inmates have found tremendous progress. The inmates now say, I know why I'm here. This is the law of karma. All I have to do is teach meditation so that I can get out of this. That's what they're talking about, which is pretty amazing. And in South India, like in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, all of these places have pyramids. And in Maharashtra, UP, Gujarat has 2 pyramids now.
I need to dive in a little bit into the pyramid that you mentioned that's in the jail. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, how did that happen? How did you guys get the permission to get a pyramid inside of a jail complex? And then how was that impacted? You mentioned the people inside.
Yeah, I mean, it started in Andhra Pradesh, where in a place called, now probably Telangana, in Warangal, where pyramids were built as an experiment to see how the police officer was a meditator. So he's like, why not we bring it here and let's see what happens. And the pyramid was built, and the inmates were asked to go and meditate there as a part of their routine. And of course, the masters, my father used to go and teach meditation there in central jail, in normal jails. He went everywhere. What they saw was and they would sit in their cells and meditate. That was pretty amazing. And after that, they started teaching meditation, saying that understanding, because when we teach meditation, we teach what is karma, why we are here, how what you sow, so you reap, the concept of all of that. And after they understand that, they know, like, okay, just as we talked about, not getting into the victim mode. Oh, I'm here. Oh, something, the system is wrong or whatever, not blaming the system or not blaming the circumstances, taking that power and saying, now, okay, I'm here now, I'm going to change my life. Or by teaching meditation, by empowering others, that's how you empower yourself. So they teach meditation in the class, to the inmates, and have their own sessions. We have photographs, we have testimonials about all of that. There's a whole case study on that. So that was pretty impressive. And that information now went into the North India, and they did it in Bhopal as well and had great results. It's pretty amazing.
There's this phenomenon that, I've been reading about recently. It's called the Maharishi effect, which is basically where, when you can get a certain percentage of the population to meditate together, what you create is a field of awakening, a field of consciousness and higher vibration, which actually reduces the violence or the anger or the pain in that region. So, when you get a certain amount of people to come together and meditate, it actually increases the quality of life. It increases the love, the compassion, the creative energy, the productivity of the entire, the town or the city or the country as a whole, if they can get a whole country to do it. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, what you're talking about here is, like a prison where there are prisoners who have committed crimes, are now coming together because of meditation and creating almost what is called this Maharishi effect, or like this space of consciousness. And it is reducing the anger, the violence in that area, and actually helping to create, a blossoming of awakening in these people. I think it's so powerful. I mean, imagine if we get pyramids across every jail across the world. What would happen?
I know. It is a revolutionary thing. I'll share with you one case study. So there's a road in Hyderabad between the airport and the pyramid there, the big pyramid there. So that road, it was notorious for accidents. A lot of accidents used to happen there. So as an experiment, the local people decided to put pyramids, like small 2x2 pyramids, on the divider. Like the divider they have on the sides. So they went and put pyramids all along that road. And within 3 months, along with the transportation department, we started tracking the accidents and saw that the accidents have gradually reduced to nothing on that road. Nothing changed, just the pyramids were kept. So this is actually a documented case study on how pyramid energy has shifted the energy itself, and there are no accidents anymore. So it's definitely there is something inside of that is creating that shift in frequency and creating that harmonization, a synergy of energy where people are more aware or conscious or whatever. There are scientists still working and trying to understand this phenomenon.
It's really such a fascinating phenomenon. The pyramids for me were an introduction into the divine and trying to understand the divine. And the way that I have experienced it and seen it as well, what you're speaking to, the pyramids are the ultimate balancing force in this material plane. That's why it's the symbol of the alchemist. It's the pyramid inside of the circle, right? So for the alchemist, the pyramid energy is the harmonizer. It's the thing that takes all of the chaos, the yin and the yang, the forces of karma that are unbalanced, and the mental activity in the human being, and brings it into coherence. The studies that have been done showing what happens when a human being, even when they're not meditating, walks into a pyramid, both sides of the hemispheres of the brain come into coherence. And the gamma waves come down, the high gamma comes down, stress comes down in the human being. And from that place, we have balance, we have coherence. And when you're doing that at a mass scale, of course, crime's going to come down, stress is going to come down, awareness and compassion is going to go up, because the natural state of the human being is not stress and contraction. Yep. Stress is not a natural thing. It's the human being's inability, because of their internal awareness and because of their environment, their inability to manage their own system, right? So when we bring ease to the system through the environment, we create a collective awakening that allows the human being to flourish and come back to their natural state of coherence and harmony. And that's like, there's nothing more important that we could be doing than building pyramids all around the world and teaching students and prisoners and teachers and human beings to meditate. So thank you. You're doing the great work. We're doing the great work.
I have an interesting question. I mean, I'm just curious, how many pyramids do you have at your home?
I have, oh my gosh, I have one right behind. I wish I could show you, but the camera is all set. But I'll take a
Yeah.
picture and show you. I have one right here. So in my house, we just bought this house in Orange County. So what we did was to activate the energies in here, we pyramidized the home. That means every corner, the 8 corners, east, west, north, south, northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast, all these 8 corners, we put pyramids. And then we do meditation to activate pyramids and crystals. Crystals go amazingly with pyramids. So at the apex of the pyramid, you put a crystal. So it gets amplified with an intention. So whatever intention you want for that house. For me, this house name is called the Pyramid House. As is. And for me, I want people to come here. I want masters to come here. I want sharings. I want collaborations. I want you guys to come here. And so we can have discussions and have dinners and have this high vibrational community together. So that's what my intention is for this house. So I put the intention, activated the home, and everybody who walks in can feel the difference. There's something different because they're pyramids energy. So I have one in my backyard where we go and sit. I have one on my bed. So we create, and it's not very expensive to create a pyramid. All you need is rods and the connectors and you can connect it. So on my bed, I sleep under a pyramid. It's so amazing. Even the water. So if my children, whenever they have sore throat, flu, I don't give them medicine. I give them pyramidized water, pyramid charged water. So I put the water, clean filter, alkaline water under a pyramid, and then I make them drink it. So that's the medicine. So you don't need medicine. You don't need, because we are so psychologically dependent on that. We can get away with the right diet, right food, and right environment.
That's so beautiful. That's literally the magic key. And as we've been sitting here, this has been my water bottle.
Yes. See, yeah, that's it. I mean, we just be more aware and drink right water, eat right food, not eat junk or not eat food that has fear in it. Eat the right food, eat the food that has light in it.
I want to dive into this with you when we have the opportunity to be in person, to structure our spaces and pyramid grid the whole joint, because we're bringing the energy of the divine and that coherence into the space. And from that, a human being can create so much more potently. So thank you for the example that you're setting in doing that in your home and in your life. And I'm so personally excited to come to Pyramid House and do that. And
I can't wait for you guys to come.
For everybody who's tuning in today, as we, with everything that we just shared, if you had to give like 1 or 2 really simple tips for viewers to actually work with pyramids in their own like day-to-day life, like what can somebody do today to really tap into this energy with meditation, with pyramids, and like how can they be just more accessible to them on a at a home basis?
I mean, making pyramids is very easy. There's tons of videos I can share with these videos. There's a video one in Hindi, in PMC Hindi, on how to make a pyramid. So the applications for pyramids everyday life is, as I said, the pyramid water as just drinking, putting some crystals in it, having a pyramid creates high vibe water because water has memory in it. When you charge the water, it transforms at a cellular level because we are made up of water. So it programs us continuously. So that's one way of using pyramid energy. The other way is putting in your house. Wherever you feel there are arguments happening, a lot of discussions happening, put pyramids there. And you will see slowly the conversations are shifted. Slowly there are no more arguments happening there. Or maybe in your bedroom where if you're getting nightmares, you're not able to sleep properly, put pyramids there. Anywhere you feel where there are and also in the rooms where you don't use it. In US, we have big houses and there are spaces that don't get used often. When we don't use rooms, it creates stagnant energy. And so we need to kind of bring air, bring sun, bring plants. And when you put pyramids there, that kind of harmonizes that area and do not create stagnant energy. And our house is a reflection of who we are. So we need to be mindful about our environment, not put things that do not resonate with your lifestyle or with your mindset. So be aware of what you have in your surroundings. Don't have spaces that are just sitting and you're not entering that space. create some kind of light in there by bringing pyramids or Himalayan salt lamps or crystals, plants, anything like that. And changing that environment. So, and also meditating, of course, meditating with a pyramid is the greatest way to kind of shift the energy and amplify. Putting on your desk spaces. I have a pyramid in my car. So on the dashboard, I can probably take a picture and send. I have a small. It's called a car pyramid. A small 4-inch by 4-inch pyramid. I put that right on my car because that's again kind of creates a grid for your car, and it's absolutely amazing to have it there. Or maybe if you have vision problems, there are eye pyramids, there are knee pyramids. There are so many variety of pyramids that you can utilize this in your everyday life. But start with one, go slow,
Yeah.
bring just a pyramid like how Justice has showed the orgone. There are orgone pyramids, there are crystal pyramids, so many varieties out there. So we could, yeah, exactly. Test it out, experiment and see.
It's like a rabbit hole of pyramids that you can get into. Once you start, you just can't stop.
It's a very potent and important topic for humanity because especially for those who are introducing themselves into spirituality, being immersed in the pyramid energy and being able to look at the physical data is a great bridge to understanding how the ether is truly a force in this world and how it interacts with us, because the pyramid, it focuses the ether, right?
Yeah.
And for me, the simplest way that I started bringing this energy was by my bed, by
Yeah.
my water, and where I meditate. Those are the three primary places that to me it had the most primary benefit. Of course, you can bring a pyramid and put a pyramid anywhere and it's going to bring benefit into your home.
Yeah.
But those for me were the big three.
With you running PSSM Global today, what kind of inspired you to start Soham Shift? What was the inspiration behind that?
It is my passion to work with. First, it all started with working with women. I do a lot of women retreats. I'm doing one in Mexico right in November. So there's a lot of that inspiration of teaching courses. I love teaching about crystals. I love teaching about energy work. I train myself going to different teachers, learned how to work with energy, how to work with frequency. So I call myself a expert in vibrational layering, like layering an intention with different kind of frequencies, because I'm a total Amazon Prime girl. I want things right next day. So that's when I realized, okay, if I want to manifest things, how do I bring different vibrations? There's so many tools out there. Like there are flower essences, gem elixirs, there's biofield frequency tools, there are pyramids, there's meditation, subconscious mind programming tools, so many things. So how do we align for a certain intention to manifest from a space of abundance, not as I am dependent on them? So my core the mission or the desire or the love, the passion that I have is to help others to create from a space of abundance and bring these tools. So it is about mindset, it is about energy alignment, and also the tools activating it and taking action. So everything that I've learned in PSSM as a child from the West and the East, I'm bringing that into the business aspect. Remember my statement when I told my story? I said, I'm going to create financial freedom. I am here to create a luxurious life. I want luxurious vacations. I want to take my whole team in first class. I want to do all of that. So I want to bring that money concept as a form, not as a means to end, that not the end goal, but as an energy to live the best life and create an impact in the society. So leaders to shift from the mindset of what's in it for me to how can I serve better and get, have the financial freedom. So that's the mission for me, to shift from that mindset to that of service. Because service to humanity, service to divine is service to self. So how can we bring service aspect into the leadership, into the business models is what my mission is about.
I guess something that feels present for me is there is a notion in the world that oftentimes spirituality and financial abundance can't really go hand in hand. Just something that you said you experience in your own life. And like me coming from India as well, I mean, I know that oftentimes when I tell my family members, with my friends that, I'm walking the spiritual path, and when they ask like, okay, but what about money? So this is often like a notion. So when you kind of, sat with this, What would you say to somebody who feels like, they want to walk a spiritual path, but they also want financial abundance? And how can we bridge the gap?
Understanding what money is energy, and when you work, anything is energy exchange. If there is no exchange of energy, it creates again, from a spiritual standpoint, it creates karma. See, if we need ventilation in our home, we have to open the front door and the back door so that the air flows in. If I'm just taking and not giving, or if I'm just giving and not taking, it creates blocks for our own evolution. So if I'm just giving, if I'm just teaching as a service and not taking in, it blocks my own evolution. So when you understand what money is, when you understand how the concept of the flow, that money has to flow. It never stays in one place. It always flows around. Like wind, like anything. So you can't hoard money and living in that from the space of abundance. You will get what you need when you go in, when you lean in, when you give, and also take. Because my father says this: not giving is materialistic ego. Not taking is spiritual ego. Because it's like we are always ready to give. No, we want to always be in a position to give, but not to take.
Yeah.
And especially coming from India, where spiritual wisdom is teached as the highest information. But no, I mean, doctors take amount. It's a noble profession. The amount of money they take for everything. So it's the time. As yourself, as Justice, you have invested your energy, your time in studying this, in studying energy, when you could study something else. So there has to be an energy exchange, otherwise it blocks your growth. So understanding what that is, understanding that you're actually adding value and actually turning that energy, that money, into impacting in a positive way into the society, because we turn that the energy of money itself. It's education. I feel it's more about educating people of what money is.
Absolutely. I love that quote that your dad shared with you. I think that's such a beautiful reminder of finding the balance between both the worlds as we walk this path today and as we try to build a new earth. And what that means is you can step into your spiritual path, you can step into your power, you can do what truly makes your heart feel alive in the service of others. And at the same time, you can also ask to receive, and finding that balance is how you can walk your path in the new earth that we're trying to build together, what you're building, what we're building here. So yeah, thank you for that reminder. With the home shifts also, I wanted to ask you, since you mentioned that fundamentally a lot of the work that you do at Home Shift is working with people, especially like women, or anybody who's trying to build their movement, anybody who wants to be revolutionary and start a movement as such. And you by all means are leading two movements on a global front, What do you think is the biggest challenge that people face today when they're stepping into their voice and their power? What are the challenges that they face?
Definitely the problem is, what will people say? How will I be received? How will I be judged? That is one of the prime thing that I see. How can I do it? I mean, people around me won't understand. So the ownership, the taking that, voicing your truth without the fear of being judged, the judgment, is one of the most common thing that I see. And after that is having that community, having that support. And that's what I see with you guys that you're giving. And I love what you're doing. The New Earth community is giving that space, holding that space to share your voice fearlessly, unapologetically, and boldly. And that's what the people who are coming out need, is that space, that space holder to be who they are. It's a great service, is to have that space without being judged, without, and also giving the tools, like how do you do, they don't know where to begin, they don't know what to do. So having that kind of a template in, okay, you could do this, or just whatever feels resonating with them to start off with.
I just wanted to ask you, Pari, how did you liberate your fear of judgment in your life as you started to step onto this journey?
Oh my gosh, it was not like a one-time thing. It's every time stepping into doing. I mean, I was always a bold woman, but yeah, I just did it. I just leaned in. I remember, we've done a goddess retreat 2 years back. And one of my dear friends, Simona, she is a photographer. So she brought a dress. Okay. It's a goddess dress. And so I come from a family where, you know what, when I used to go to college, my mother would be like, wear the dupatta. Dupatta is like what do I say? Scarf that you have
Like a
to
scarf.
wear. Yeah, on. And she would always be like, cover yourself properly. Make sure you're all covered. Don't go like this to college. And I would always fight with her. Why should I cover myself? I want to wear what I want to wear. And I want to go to the college. So I always used to fight that. And then, and also the mindset that when you are in spirituality, you have to dress a certain way. You have to look a certain way. You have to be simple. You should not wear glam stuff. And I'm all about glam, glitter, fun. I'm sassy, sexy, everything. So it doesn't align with the mindset of a spirituality person. So, and I was wearing that beautiful goddess dress. It was nothing like modest, nothing like, a spiritual, simple person would wear. And I showed that picture to my family, and I'm like, I told them, I'm going to put this picture on my website. What do you guys think? Like, oh my God, what are you doing? You do whatever you want in US, but you don't have to do that on your website. This is the whole discussion that started. So every step is a step forward for me. Is like I wouldn't say I have broken all my shackles. There's still every day I'm doing it, every day with my voice, every day with my actions. I'm trying to move ahead. And fear is there's always fear. There's always this fear of judgment or fear of people, how they see you or your image. But leaning in, stepping in, jumping into that fear is how it's okay. It happens and you just move in. You just have to jump in at some point. There's no way around.
I can totally see just like the journey that you've been on and how you're taking taking steps every day to really step in that power. And especially from, like it's been a journey from India and from your family background and like just the way you've grown up and in the US and like really taking each thing that you've ever received and really just turning how that feels for you, clearly taking that small actions every single day and step into your power. I think is very powerful. You come from a family that has built one of the largest meditation movements today. What has that taught you about how movements are really built and how you keep a movement, thriving? Because it's very easy for movements to die down as well, So how do you keep it sustained and moving and growing? And what does it really take to build a movement?
The first step always begins with you is believing in the movement, in the mission itself. And the other step is leadership is about you doing first. You have to be doing the work, any kind of work. It doesn't matter. There is no small or big work. I am everywhere. If I am needed in the editing work, I'm there. If I'm needed to move the chairs on the stage, I am there. So not waiting for, it is not my job, they should do it. That mindset doesn't work in leadership. So if you want to build a movement, you have to be the first person to do the work, to give. And that inspires, that brings the people in and speaking your truth. So if you want money, you have to give money. If you want friendship, you give that. You want love, you give love. Only when you give, you get it. If you keep waiting, somebody has to come, I am doing so much. If you are in that mindset, you can never build movements. You have to go beyond expectation. You have to first give, do, and not worry about titles or not, because leadership is not about titles. It is about being in the front and doing the work that inspires. Because I remember my father, there was in 2020 when the COVID happened, there was a first digital dhyana yagna. That means the meditation event on yoga date, June 21st, a 24 hours meditation event was announced. So we had speakers from all around the world, from different time zones, running the event, 24 hours of meditation. So he could be easily saying that, you know what, we have a great team. Why don't you guys do it? And I'm going to sit back and come in when I'm needed, like a guest appearance. He sat through every speaker, every guru, every cultural activity or every meditation for 24 hours. And at that time, he was not even feeling well and he was kind of not doing well. But he sat through. that specific event of him sitting through 24 hours inspired the whole world. If he can sit for 24 hours, why can't we sit? That is the mindset of a leadership. Like when you do it, you inspire others. So if you're a leader, you do more work, and that brings the movement much stronger. So
Absolutely.
it's not it's the difference between being a boss and a leader.
It reminds me of a very
Mm.
beautiful thing that one of my gurus told me, a Jain monk.
Mm-hmm.
And he reminded me of the law of karma in very simple words that what you give is what you receive. So if you don't like what you are receiving, change what you are giving.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when it comes fundamentally to building a movement as well, like you have to really step in that role of showing and leading by example. So if you don't like what you're seeing in the world, be that change, be that person, and use taking that, that step towards being the change that you want to see starts creating ripples of movement that people can then jump in because they see you doing it. And oftentimes, another thing that I've read about leadership is that a leader is the person who's able to read what everybody else is feeling, but not willing to say, and you're able to say it and communicate that
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Mm-hmm.
about speaking the voices of other people, and you're really
Yeah.
taking on that role and that responsibility. So when you open up and break that silence, you take that first step. It creates a momentum of other people to also break the silence and then step in and building that.
There's so much potency there, Pari, and you spoke to it direct to the truth. Something that is really prevalent in what we're doing here is using the media as a form of expression so that we can show this leadership. And from every great sage, from your mouth to the mouth of the Buddha, the Christ, Krishna, every mythological teaching, every great leader, the only reason that they've been able to lead and rally people is because they themselves has led by example.
Mm-hmm.
And when the individual chooses to become and embody the living, breathing incarnation of the world they wish to see, it is from that place that our world will change. It is from the
Great.
individual taking full ownership to lead themselves first. And only then can we as a community collectively change. And it takes human beings like you, Pari, like you, Nahal, like the countless leaders all around the world and the beautiful students and leaders we have inside the university who have the courage to step into their own leadership, to share their voice, to share their vulnerability, to put themselves out into the world and lead by example that inspires others to do the same. Like you said, it was your father sitting for 24 hours when he wasn't feeling well that set such a powerful example that it inspired tens of thousands of people all over the world to do the same. Think Gandhi.
Mm-hmm.
Gandhi completely liberated India from oppression through his direct example. He stood and walked and marched with the flag and was beaten and bruised and hospitalized and fasted. It was him that led by example. And it was his example that was so powerful that it inspired and could move the heart of the entire nation of tens of millions of people. That is the power that true, full ownership has. When we choose to lead by example and be that living and breathing embodiment of the world we wish to see. That's what Gandhi did. That's what your father did. And that's what we as leaders here are aspiring to do now.
Yep.
Thank you, Pari.
Thank you.
And it also makes my heart so warm because what we're building at the New Earth is a
Mm-hmm.
community of leaders who are being a full embodiment of what they wish to see in the world. And everybody who
Mm-hmm.
steps in this community are people who are taking that step to step in their power and to really build a movement and revolution on their own regards. And when we combine forces and come together, so we can create the ripple of mass awakening. So, Pari, you have been a part of our community for a few months
Mm-hmm.
now. I'm just curious, what inspired you to join our community?
Well, I think it was meant to be to meet the community, to meet the leaders. I was on Instagram. I saw the reel of Thor, and the energy connected, and I was like, I have to meet this guy. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what he was doing. I had no idea. I just saw the reel, and he was talking with the friends and all of that. And I was like, I just decided in my head, like, I have to meet this guy. And I messaged him on Instagram. This is a crazy story. I messaged him on Instagram. He never responded. I'm like, okay, fine. He must be busy. Whatever. Let me see. How can I reach out to him? And that's when I saw that I could book a call with him. I'm like, when I decide to meet, I'm never leaving any stone unturned. So I said, okay, fine. If I can book a call with him, I can do it. It said, okay, book a call, a 90-minute call. And then I went ahead and did that, and I spoke to him. And that's it. I resonated with what he was doing. Then I knew that then after I started talking to him, then I knew what he was doing. Until then, I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know about this community. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be a part of whatever you're doing, because it totally resonates with what I believe in and what our mission is about. And that's how I got into the community, and I was like, you know what, we need to work together. I totally feel there's a lot of big things that can happen together, and I'm here.
Yeah, we're so honored
Yeah.
to have you in this space with us. Like, I'm so happy to have you on this podcast today as our first guest, to have you in the container and to help,
Yes.
to build this new earth with you. It's truly an honor, to walk this journey with you. And, I'm sure, like, yeah, we're really excited for what we can do together with PSSM Global Soham Shift in the new earth, and each of our individual visions coming together to really bring in that new vision of new earth.
Absolutely. I am super excited, and bringing the truth is a mission, walking without fearlessly, and not getting into I love what you guys teach is be authentic. And I broke it out. In fact, I have to give a big testimonial to New Earth community. Only after I joined the course, only after I saw what the content is, it's amazing. I could break a lot of my own comfort zone. I could come out and speak more boldly just because of New Earth community. So I want to give a big shout out to anyone who is listening here. Is no matter what stage you are, whether you're a beginner or you have started movements or in advance, there's always, anytime you want to create that next level, next version of yourself, there is that resistance, there is that fear. And New Earth community is a community for every level, whether you're a beginner just starting off or whether you're advanced or trying to create, reach more bigger levels. So I absolutely am a big promoter of New Earth community, and everyone must have joined this and be in a community like this. So,
Beautiful.
yes.
Thank you, Pari. This is a perfect segue to what the vision of New Earth actually is. As we're building these communities together, as we're standing together and showing up and leading by example. To you, Pari, what does New Earth manifested look like in the individual and out in the world?
New Earth look, for me, it's an earth built on friendship, on collaboration and authenticity, being yourself and respecting every individual as gods, and realizing that you are one as well, and building a community of empowerment, of empowering others constantly, without the competition, without that fear of lack, moving into a space of abundance, moving into giving and sharing, without hesitance, without any resistance. That's what New Earth is for me, without moving beyond the gender, the race, the color, the countries, the culture, coming together as one is what New Earth is for me.
That is amazing. In essence, breaking down the pyramid scheme and building pyramids of love all over the world.
Yes.
Thank you, Pari.
Pyramids of compassion. For me, compassion is for me, more than love, I resonate with compassion. Compassion is about, for every being on earth, whether it is a human being, animal being, plant being, bird being, fish being, any being. Having compassion and treating everyone as friends is New Earth for me.
I love what you said also in your vision of New Earth is, recognizing everybody as divine and as gods. And, essentially what you're saying is like just having a deep reverence for everybody, whether it's animals, plants, humans, just deep reverence. Within you, I see God, and within me, I see God. And that is the vision of New Earth. Thank you for sharing that with us today. Coming to the close of the end of this podcast episode, the very first episode that we have for the Voices of New Earth. For anybody who's tuning in and they want to reach out to you regarding, Pyramid Valley, PSSN Global, Soham Shift, or any of your future retreats and the work that you do, how can somebody reach out?
The best way is to reach out to me on my Instagram, Pari Patri, and my website, paripatri.com. You could go in there and see everything that I'm doing and connect with me from there.
And let's not forget, you can also join the New York University and message Pari inside of there as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you could do that as well.
I just needed a little plug into the New York University, but like, yeah, the New York University is a community for like-minded revolutionaries all over the world to come together to actualize your power, to step into your authentic truth, and to build your vision. So, Pari, thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for being our first guest. And the last closing thought that I have is just, if there is somebody listening today and they said that I feel scared to step into my truth and to share my voice with the world, but I want to build a movement, just one piece of wisdom for them.
Just say I'm ready, lean in, show up, and that's it. The words that I'm ready shifts the frequency of manifestation. There's never a right time, there's never a right place. You just have to lean in and do it, and show up for yourself, and find the right community. Community is very important. Having a right community to hold space, to empower, is a very important step in creating moments.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. It's been an honor to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. It was a lovely conversation. I didn't feel that it was 2 hours at all. I love chatting with you guys, and I wish all the best for New Earth community. And I'm so looking forward to see you guys in India and have fun. Thank you. Thank you.
Any closing thoughts, Justice?
Filled with gratitude. That's all. This is a beautiful thing that we're doing here together. Thank you, Pari, for spending your time with us. And if you feel inspired to step in, to reach out, follow that call to adventure, follow the call to action, and do it. Like you said, there is no time other than the present. It will always be now. So say I'm ready, say yes to your purpose, and lean in, and allow us to support you if you feel called, because that's what we're here to do, is to come together and build this new earth together. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Nihal, for leading this session so beautiful. Thank you, Pari, for sharing your wisdom, your time, and your compassion with us. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, peace and love, and we will see you next time on the Voices of New Earth.